is Alicia Curlin. I'm the executive director of the Barrick Museum, and it's been a while since we've gathered this way. It feels a little bit like a wedding.
I know, right?
We have family here, artists here. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge my team, Dan, Manny, Chloe, Kate is still working probably, and Leah is right there. We have worked really hard through this pandemic and have anticipated this event for some time, so we're really happy to have everyone here.
Didn't you have COVID when I called you?
She called me and I didn't recognize the number and I said hello.
She's like,
I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were NV Energy or something. We're a pretty resourceful and resilient group, and I have a lot to thank the artists that have put on all of these 8 exhibitions in the museum right now. This is when the museum has hit its stride, oddly enough, in this year. I don't know if you all noticed, but President Whitfeild is here. He's Whitfield. Thank you so much for coming out to support, and I'm just so glad that you are here at UNLV. I know Provost Chris Heavey was going to come today. Is he going to make it? Or
No.
No. Okay. But Dean Uscher is here as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now that we're together too, I want to make an important note. As we know, the Barrick is on the ancestral lands of the Southern Paiute people. I think it's important to recognize and pay respects to those that have come before us, and also recognize that the indigenous people are still here today. So I want to say that. I will spend a few moments introducing the museum and the artists, Zully and Bobbie, who are here. And then Representative Susie Lee and I will talk a little bit about how this came about.
okay.
Yeah. So the mission of the Barrick, here at the Barrick, we believe everyone deserves access to art that challenges our understanding of today, the present, and inspires us to create a future that holds space for us all. And so this celebrates a very important moment. This piece by Zully Mejia is the first piece to be collected into the museum's Women of Color Acquisition Fund. And what that means is that donors will give money to create a more equitable collection. And soon as we collect it into the museum, look at it, it's already on view and it's traveling and taking a field trip around the nation. I want to thank Brooke Fetter and Jesse Stewart, who is there, for making this possible. Thank you. Thank you. Always supporting us. So we're here to celebrate this partnership. All these works are going to go to DC.
I know.
And hang in her office. It's going to brighten up the office, and you'll have some conversational pieces.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them a little bit about
Yeah,
your
no,
work?
I mean, I reached out to Alicia, just first of all, thank you, and thank you for all you do, and Dean Uscher, thank you, and President Whitfeild. To me, this is like a partnership that embodies everything I'm about, and it's really supporting our local institutions, supporting our local artists, but also each piece that we selected has significance to what I represent in Washington, which is the diversity of our community and the struggles of families far and wide, whether it is our union members, our Native Americans. This embodies our showgirls, our thunderbirds, our lizards. It's just an incredible, to me, encapsulation of what Vegas is about. And of course, Zully, your mother, who is here, our immigrant community, and just it's such a powerful piece. I mean, I just am so happy every time I look at that picture. So I know it will give me a lot of joy. And then our women suffragists. So to me, this really embodies so much that I represent in Washington. And so I'm very, very excited to do this. This was really something you've been such a pleasure to work with. And so I just made a phone call like, hey, do you think, we can get some pieces of art on loan? And you're like, absolutely. And so it really came together very smoothly. And you actually, I think we had these ready to go. And I was like, no, I want to have a press event because I want to bring awareness to what the great treasure the Barrick Museum is to our community, but also to recognize our artists. And so thank you both. Many of you might know I'm on the Appropriations Committee and on the Interior Subcommittee, which is the committee that deals with art funding. So I will be a proud supporter going forward as well. But I'd like to give some congressional recognition. First to Bobbie and Howell for your artwork, Showgirls and Thunderbirds, which will proudly hang in my office.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And then Zully Mejia for your incredible piece, America, which celebrates the beauty, diversity, and potential of the American dream. And Zully's heading to London, and her mother, who is here, just is shared with me you're getting your degree and teaching here in Clark County, so thank you. And then Alicia, I'd like to give a recognition for the Barrick Museum of Art and all the hard work you do. You know, it's important to share the artwork that represents our own community. And I really admire the work of the Barrick Museum for reaching out and really being a leader on diversity and inclusion. And so many times in the art world, we know that communities of color are underrepresented in artwork that gets displayed. And so thank you, Mr. Stewart, as well, for your investment in artists. And it is an important investment to make, and one that makes us all richer for the experience we have. So thank you for your support. And here you go. Thank you.
That means a ton. Presented to the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I want to invite Zully and Bobbie to say a few words about their pieces, if that doesn't put you to
No, I'd love to.
So I have to say, I met Zully. You can come up here. I met Zully. She was on a very important scholarship, a volunteer scholarship, so she came to the museum and volunteered while she was attending school. So all 4 years, you had some kind of contact with the museum here. And so this is really kind of an emotional thing, you know, because later you were staff, and then after that, I was your research advisor, and then after that,
You were my
committee member, and then I wrote the recommendation, and we talked about the Marshall Scholarship and so many things. So I am like, I remember when you won the awards at the Office of Undergraduate Research, I was so proud of you that I called my dad to tell him that one of my students and now friends is succeeding. So
thank
just to let you know. But anyway, this piece has so much depth to it. You can say a little bit about it. Talk as long as you wish, because I don't get a chance to hear you say this enough. So
Thank
it would be
you.
great.
Yeah, there's a lot to this piece. I could and probably should write like a 20-page essay on it, but I just really wanted to say that it means a lot to have my piece America selected by Representative Susie Lee. I created this piece back in 2019, and at its core, it really seeks to give a voice to Latinx immigrants like my mom and myself during a time where, you know, we had a president who was speaking very biasly about immigrants and enforcing policies that were very inhumane. And we've made some progress, but this piece really is just to say that we are here, and I am so grateful that we are not forgotten, and that Alicia, that I could be any sort of influence, you know, at the museum here and have my piece represent people who look like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Bobbie is such a fierce advocate of arts and humanities in this. I believe you've been connected in some way to every arts nonprofit.
I've been around the block,
Yep, in this city, right. And her love of patterns and precision, and this state is so admirable, and I'm so glad that you're in this collection and we finally have this piece framed this way. It's so beautiful.
So
it looks
beautiful.
great. So tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, well, I'm a little bit snowflake obsessed. I have been probably since Mr. Bissell's fifth grade class at Lewis E. Rowe, or maybe Miss Gardner, my kindergarten teacher at Indian Springs, which is where I went to school. And I love all things pattern, math. I have a long history of teaching, and it's fun to be back on campus. I see my students and ex-students and their kids all the time now, and I love just our state. And this piece started, I was doing a public art project called ZAP for the county, and I have some power boxes up at Desert Breeze Park, and I was looking at the area, which is one of those areas, where when I was a kid, we rode our horses, and it was a long way from town. And so I was just thinking about what lived there, what still lives there, but it's harder to see. And it really overlooks the strip when you look down the hill from Spring Mountain. And I was just thinking about the power, and there's huge power lines going over it. And so I wanted all of the pieces to kind of be connected to that space. And who doesn't love showgirls? To me, they've always represented this great power of a mainstay of the people that are seen and unseen at the same time in our community, and all the work that they do. And of course, Jets are a part of, I grew up in Indian Springs, so many of my early memories are of the Thunderbirds, and then practicing. We just had Red Flag, which every morning I could hear I'm like, there's the B-52s and the B-17s, their low rumble taking off. And then, of course, who doesn't love horned toads? I do. I love looking at them and just reminding ourselves to get out, and that all of these things come together in our community, and often that intense neon blue that we get every night at dusk in our sky, reflected in our desert sands. So it's one of thousands of snowflake patterns that, Nevada snowfall. So why not do more? So art, math, stories, I love it all. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
But to see the artwork here, this is a special place on our campus. Mm-hmm. And we need to remember that all times, and we need to be able to encourage it and foster it. And having Representative Lee take that same kind of feeling and emotion and support to Washington helps us think that UNLV is helping to spread this across the country. And so, it's always so cool to meet artists. I'm sorry, I probably, if you saw my pictures, they'd be stick figures. It would be horrible. You wouldn't think very much of it, but it's a talent that sometimes in our technological world that we don't appreciate. And so what you bring is beauty and aesthetics and things that are just intangibles. And so thank you for sharing it. You're going to share it with the world. Thank you all for coming. You all are all making me very, very proud to play a small role in continuing to make this great university better. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today, Alicia, thank you so much for what you do for this community and across the world, and especially our country. And it's just going to be grand, for this art to hang in Representative Lee's office. The arts make us human, and I appreciated what our president said about humanity. I'm so proud myself to be in this community, and just feel this is a special day where we can, we can talk to each other about the incredible art that is going to be traveling. And congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much.